Good morning. Today I'd like to talk to you about verbal communication as part of being a good massage therapist. So there are many aspects to verbal communication that are very important. From the first moment we meet a customer, to being polite, to being courteous, hi Mr. So-and-so, or hi Mrs. So-and-so, how are you today? To then asking them to fill in a case history form, to looking then at what are their problems, asking them about particular problems, to also then asking about what is the pressure like when you're massaging them, to asking them about their body temperature. Are you warm enough? Just let me know if you're too cold and I can put more towels on. To asking them about the pressure. How's my pressure? Defining what is the parameters is not just giving a, oh yeah, that's fine, but 10 is if it's too much where you're going to tighten up. 1 is where it's completely ineffective. Discussing what is Raynor massage, what is the goal, what are you trying to achieve in terms of finding residual tension and getting rid of it. We also need to be able to communicate when people come in and say, for example, oh, I've got a tight shoulder. Well, then we need to show them, oh yeah, is this where you're tight? Oh yeah, that's the spot. Then we need to be able to trace it down to its source and then explain to them why we're going to work there. Because otherwise people can feel that you're not addressing the needs that they've come in for. Oh, you're not actually doing my tight shoulder, you're doing my fingers. Well, we need to explain to them that it's the fingers that are causing the tension in the bands that are coming up and causing their shoulder to be tight. So these are all part of good verbal communication skills. We need to build that bridge of trust with the person where they feel that, yes, I can put my body in the hands of this therapist and feel completely relaxed that they know what they're doing. So it's the way we talk to a person. We talk to a person in a professional manner with confidence. If we're not confident in how we're talking to a person, then it's highly unlikely the person will feel that confidence in you. If you're not confident in yourself, then they're not going to be confident in you. So you want to talk to people in a confident manner, not overconfident, not arrogant. It is what I call the partnership model of medicine. So we're not having like an ivory tower approach. So there's a saying to describe certain professions that used to use Latin to talk to people, where the common people didn't understand what the person was trying to say, whether that be religious teachers or medical teachers. They're talking and to the person in a language they don't understand in order for that person to feel awe and reverence for them. But I don't believe in that philosophy. I believe in talking to the person in a language they understand. So looking at what level of understanding of English do they have, or if you're working in another language, then what level of understanding of that language do they have? But relating to that person from where they're at. Okay, so you're going to talk to children differently than you're going to talk to university-educated adults. You're going to talk to tradespeople differently. Even use of humor might be appropriate with some people as long as it's not sexual humor. It might be appropriate with some people. Whether you're more formal or more casual depends on the person. Some people are going to feel uncomfortable if a person's too formal with them. Other people won't treat you with the degree of professional respect if you're not formal with them. Okay, so all of these situations need to be adjusted for. You have to be a little bit like a chameleon who can change his colors depending upon the person. All of it's designed around communicating with that person to get them just to breathe, relax, and give you the feedback so that you can get on with your job. All right, so as I say, from the time they come in or from the time they make a booking, it's your advertising. How is your communication? How is your communication on the phone? Do they need to get a doctor's permission before they come to you? That can all be done by having them fill out an online case history form, and then if there's anything that needs looking at that you may think, oh, well, I want the doctor's permission, you get them, you talk to them about that, to discussing what they want out of a massage, to looking at their case history form, to once they're on the table, working with them, encouraging them, telling them what they need to do, what is the goal of Raynor massage. Why are we working on their hands and feet? This is a big question a lot of people come up to. Well, why did they come to my hands and feet? So we can show them where the bands are, often trace them if they're tight. But one aspect is sensing whether you're over communicating with the person too. You don't want to over communicate. A lot of people just want to come in for a massage and they want to just relax. So if that's the case, you don't want to kind of bring them out of that deep relaxation space. Okay? So you don't want to kind of get that person out of that meditative space and into I have to think about what the person's saying. If they're going into that space, that's the goal anyway. So then it's time to be quiet. The other thing about verbal communication is not talking about ourselves and our own problems unless it's going to help that person. You might be able to relate to some experience, but it's not a time to offload the problems that you're going through in your life when you've got a client, okay? Especially a professional one. That can be more if you're massaging a friend and you're not charging them. Well, that's a different situation, and you can talk about your problems, they can talk about theirs, they're getting a free massage. But in a professional situation, they're paying you for your focus and attention to be on them. So you shouldn't be discussing your own particular problems, and you should limit unnecessary talk. You don't want to necessarily be talking about politics or religion or different issues that can alienate people as well, okay, unless that's going to benefit them in some way. But we have to be a bit careful as to what we're telling people. Always that goal, though, of what the verbal communication there is. First of all, find out the information that you need to about the person, whether they've got contraindications. Then tell them what they need to do in this partnership model of medicine. They need to deep breathe, and they need to relax and not tighten up against us as best they can. They need to feel comfortable in having an emotional release, if that's what they're wanting to do. Not artificially create it, but you need to explain to people that sometimes massage can bring up emotions. And if it does, just let them come out. You don't want to force them back down, otherwise that's forcing all the tension back down. That's working against what the practitioner is trying to achieve, which is to get it out. So you need to explain that to people and let them feel comfortable with that. Of course, for some people, they might come in, and if you started talking about chi and energy, that might actually put them off. So you may need to let them go into their own philosophy on life as well. So different people have different religious ideas that may think, I don't like to talk about chi. So you can just say, well, massage is designed to get rid of tension. Some people don't believe in energies. So again, massage is designed to get rid of tension. And then if they do have an experience where they feel their life energy moving, then you might explain to them, well, this is what we call it. And then they can at least then come from their experience of what they've undergone and define it the way they want to. So we have to be careful in the way we're communicating with people, not to alienate them, not to make them feel, I don't want to have this treatment because it might go against my belief system. Okay, so that's again coming back to that chameleon thing of how is what I'm communicating to a person going to benefit them, and how are they going to react to that? We're always just thinking about how it's going to assist the person. Then at the end of a treatment, it's also important to let a person know what is the amount of tightness that they have still after the treatment. Okay, so I always say to people, well, if they've got tightness, well, we've still got some here. I think you should come back. We'll get that out the next time. So you're clearly defining what you want the person to do in terms of coming back to get rid of more of their tension, so that they realize, because a lot of people are quite unaware of their tension, and they might just feel a bit better after one massage and go, well, that's great. But what we want to do is re-educate people to strive for optimal health, not just, I feel a bit better. Maybe I've gotten from 80 out of 100 tense to 70. So, and I'm used to being 80, so 70 feels great. Well, we want to educate people to go down to 0 or 5 or something very minimal in terms of their tension. So that's important to talk to the person after the massage, because we look at Raynor massage as a treatment plan, not just what I call a one-off treatment. It's most people need 10 to 40 hours of work. So we need to explain to people what we've done and what we haven't, what needs to be done the next time. All right? Sometimes people follow up a treatment and they call the person the next day to ask them how they're feeling, because another aspect of communication is letting people know that they can have a healing crisis. Some people will feel worse before they get better. Some people may feel headachy from toxins. They may feel nauseous. They may feel quite emotional. Okay? They may feel tired. They may feel energetic. They may have different sleeping patterns. So it's important for people to realize that these are normal, nothing to be worried about, and that's good to explain at the end of a treatment or even before in a pamphlet or something talking about a healing crisis. And then sometimes with a follow-up call. Okay, it's also important, I think, at the very beginning to explain to people that this massage is therapeutic in nature and not sensual, because some people come with the idea that massage is of a sensual nature. So I would put that on my website. I would have a form that people fill out, or that people read, that what the goal of Raynor massage is, and that it's not sensual, that no sexual, activity will be tolerated during the treatment, or no talk of a sexual nature, that sort of thing. So we have forms that people can fill out and that sort of thing. It's important to also figure out if a person's pregnant, because there's certain contraindications for pregnancy, certain special techniques that we might use, and certain techniques that we don't use. So all of this is an important part of verbal communication. So to sum it up, you want to get the information that's necessary out of a person. You want to tell them what they need to do. You want to tell them what Raynor massage is going to do, so that they can calm their mind and just deep breathe, rather than be thinking, oh, why is he doing, what's he doing, or what is she doing, why. We just want them to just breathe and relax. Okay? So that's really what the goal of verbal communication is, as well as then understanding what needs to be done and what a healing crisis is. Thank you very much. Look forward to the next video.